Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am Castle Keeper Bloodworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today's video is going to be a return to the character class spotlights for Castles and Crusades, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Druid. So first, I just want to apologize. It's been a couple days since I put up any videos. It was I believe Thursday. I did a pre con video for Rising Phoenix Convention 2023 in Massachusetts, and I'm going to do a full recap tomorrow morning at some time tomorrow morning to just go over the entire experience. It was really positive, but it did prevent me from putting up anything over the last couple of days. So I'm really stoked to get right back to creating good content for you all to watch. So getting right back into it, the Druid. So here we go. We are into the PDF, which you can get for free. And this is the Castles and Crusades Players Handbook. This is the 7th printing. And here we go. Druid. So the Druid's primary requisite is, or prime attribute, is wisdom. Beyond the confines of walls and city battlements, within the vast expanse of the wilderness areas of the world, are many folk who live with contentment outside of civilization. Those who push aside material culture to live in harmony with nature often draw upon its forces for spiritual guidance and commune with its spirits. These are the Druids, and they offer guidance and wisdom about the order of life and the world, the cycle of life and death, and acceptance thereof. Druids are feared by many, for they call upon powerful elemental and nature spirits, and they can gather great hosts of nature to fight for their causes. Druids seek to protect the wilderness and its beasts from the encroachments of civilization, lest the order of the natural world be upset. They find the myriad artificial creations of civilized peoples abhorrent, for they believe that reliance upon the unnatural creates people who are weak and dependent upon material culture. They are fiercely individualistic and are often found among barbarian peoples of the world. Druids live in harmony with nature, revering its power and beauty. Although they are sometimes termed priests of nature, the Druid is much more. They allow nature to determine the fate of its creatures, for good or ill. Some Druids revere nature and its elements alone. Some promote the beliefs of one or more nature deities, and some bind their animistic faith to a strict code of personal conduct. All are devoted to their life's calling and possess specialized wilderness lore, including knowledge of the animal and plant kingdoms. Their divine dispensations are gifts from the spirits of the wood, rock, water, and wind. Storms rage across the plains, seas thunder across coasts, and the grasses of the wild steppe wave ceaselessly. None knows a motive. Druids must be able to relate to this balance and neutrality in nature. From this closeness to their surroundings, Druids possess specialized knowledge of the wilderness environments, particularly those in which the Druid lives or has trained. A Druid may use weapons crafted from nature's raw materials, such as wood, leather, stone, and cold forged metal. Traditionally, forged weapons are antithetical to Druidism. Some Druids prefer to use a weapon identical to that wielded by a deity whom they worship. In war and combat, Druids often wield cold forged, pure metal weapons fashioned of beaten iron or copper, but not of beaten steel or bronze. Likewise, Druids prefer armor crafted from items found in nature, such as leather and wood. They view armors forged by advanced metalsmithing techniques as tainted and impure. These impure items make one dependent upon them and, in consequence, weak. Should a druid cease to revere nature or ignores their code, the wrath and fury of the spirits of the wild descend upon the errant druid in vengeance. So, their abilities. So, bonus languages. Druids have a secret language used for communicating with one another. They are forbidden from teaching this language to any but their brethren. Additionally, if a druid has a high enough intelligence to learn an additional language, the following languages are available to them: Aquan, Auron, Elf, Fey, Giant, Gnome, Sylvan, and Terran. The druid must have lived in or near a community of those whose language they seek to learn. Nature lore, which is a wisdom based ability. Druids are connected to the forces of nature. They mystically coexist with their environment, gradually becoming a larger part of it. This relationship imparts to them a specialized knowledge of wilds. A druid can identify plants and animals with perfect accuracy in the type of environment where the druid was trained or currently lives. In unfamiliar environments, the druid must succeed a wisdom check to successfully use this ability. This identification ability allows the druid to determine the species of a plant or animal and the species qualities or abilities of the species. The druid can also determine whether water is safe or dangerous to drink. Additionally, druids can find shelter and forage for food. A druid always succeeds in finding basic shelter and enough food for individual daily sustenance. If the druid wishes to support additional people, they must spend 6 hours hunting and gathering to produce enough food and water to feed 2 to 8 people for a day. If the druid wishes to feed or shelter a larger group of people than the die indicates, a successful wisdom check is necessary. If successful, the druid must spend an additional 6 hours gathering food to feed and water an additional 2 to 8 people. A third attempt to gather food can be made. A wisdom check at -4 is made, but if successful, another 6 hour of searching can feed an additional 1 to 4 people. This additional effort allows the druid to gather food and water for up to 5 to 20 creatures total. The druid can only hunt and forage for food 3 times per day. Spells. Druids cast divine spells. Their spells are listed on the druid spell list, and I'll go over those later. Bonus spells. They gain bonus spells for higher wisdom, obviously. And so a character with a 13 to 15 uh, or higher wisdom will gain an extra +1 spell. For 16 and 17, an extra +1 and +2 level spell. And for an 18 and 19, a third level spell is added to that. So these are, they build upwards. So you gain a maximum of one first level spell extra, second level spell extra, and a third level spell extra. Resisting elements at level 2, druids gain a +2 bonus to saving throws against fire, water, earth, cold, and lightning attacks. Woodland Stride. At third level, druids gain the ability to move through natural thorns, briars, overgrowth areas, and similar terrain at normal speed and without suffering damage or other impairment. When doing so, druids leave no trail in the natural surroundings and cannot be tracked. However, thorns, briars, and overgrown areas that are enchanted, or magically manipulated to impede motion still affect druids. Totem shape. At level 6, druids gain the spell-like ability to change into a small or medium-sized animal and back again once per day. This ability operates like the spell Polymorph Self. Upon attaining this ability, druid must choose a totem shape. The selection is permanent and cannot be changed. Each time a druid uses this ability, the character regains 1d4 hit points. At 7th and 8th levels, the druids gain a new totem shape. Each shape can be assumed but once per day. At level 12, the druid gains the ability to take shape of a large version of one of the previous chosen totem forms. This large version of the one previously chosen can be assumed once per day, and the druid can decide between the three forms each time the ability is used. When assuming the large form of the totem, the druid heals 5d8 hit points. At 15th level, the druid can take the totem shape twice per day, and at 18th level, 3 times per day. Druid's prime attribute, as I mentioned earlier, is wisdom. Their hit dice is a d8. Their alignment is neutral, but any form of neutral. All right. Their weapons are bows, clubs, daggers, darts, hand axes, hammers, scythes, slings, sickles, spears, swords, any type, or staff. Now, again, these have to be of cold forged if they are not if they're not naturally occurring materials. Armor, they can use a courbouille, I guess that's how you pronounce that, laminar leather, padded leather armor, and leather coat or hide. They do get bonus languages and others, as I mentioned before. Here is their progression, level progression, and as you can see, they get a basic to hit, a plus one at 2 and 3, a plus 2 at 4, 5, a plus 3 at 6 and 7, and so on and so forth, all the way up to a plus 6 basic to hit at level 12 and higher. And now I'm going to switch over, and I'm going to make sure that it does switch over to spells. So I'm going to flip here and then flip right back again. Yes, we're looking at spells. I'm just going to look at the 0 level and the 1st level spells. So they can create water, they can detect neutrality, they can detect poison, endure elements, first aid, know direction, and that's discerning just true north, light, and purify food and drink. So those are their 0 level spells. Their 1st level spells, they can cast Alarm, which wards an area and alerts casters to intruders. Animal Friendship, Calm Animals, Detect Snares and Pits, Entangle, Fairy Fire, Goodberry. Very important to note with Goodberry, they can create 2d4 berries. Each one cures 1 hit point per day, but there is a maximum of 8 hit points of healing per day. Invisibility to animals, Magic Stones basically gives a 3 stones gain a +1 attack. They deal 1d6 plus 1 damage. Obscuring Mist, Pass Without Trace, and Shillelagh, which gives a club a +1 to hit and damage as well. So there we have the Druid class, and there you go. So Druids are really quite. Actually, I'm going to go back for 1 second because I like to show the highest level spells as well. So let's go to the Druids' 7th level spells. Actually, they go all the way up to 8th or 9th level Druid spells. So Antipathy, Astral Projection, Earthquake, Heal, cures all damage and most everything else All right, so it's a pretty substantial heal. Prismatic Wall, Shape Change, Storm of Vengeance, and finally Summon Elemental Swarm. All right, summons multiple elementals. All right, so that's fairly powerful. Let's see if there's any other plus nines, ninth level spells. So that's their most powerful spells for you. So now we can go back. All right. Once again, unscripted and unchained. So there you have the Druid for Castles and Crusades. It really has become, I think, a very, at least for me, a very interesting class to really delve into, and not just to be DMing or GMing or being the castle keeper for a Druid in your group, but also druids are really quite powerful as potential enemies. I mean, so it's, and you don't have to be running like an evil campaign to have druids on that. As an opposition. Um, as this shows here, druids can be any of the neutral alignments. So you can have uh, you could have lawful neutral, you could have neutral good, or you could have neutral evil druids, which I'm actually doing in my AD&D campaign. So, so very, very interesting character class, and one that really does become quite powerful opponent. So, I regret having spent so many years not really focusing on druids that much, and they really are an interesting character class for you to get into if you haven't done it before. So, there you have it. Another episode of Character Class Spotlight for Castles and Crusades. I've been following these in alphabetical order. So, and of course, it's going to slip my mind which the next one. So, if we're in the D's, I guess we're going to go to, gosh, I can't, cleric. I did cleric earlier. D, E, um, fighter. Fighter's next, F. So the fighter will be next, and that will probably be on Thursday. And I will do the next race spotlight probably Tuesday, because tomorrow's video is going to be my recap of the gaming convention I just went to this past weekend. So you all have a great afternoon. Thanks for stopping in. And as always, I look forward to seeing you on a gaming screen sometime soon. And maybe I'll have a spot for you in my Castles and Crusades campaign that I'm looking to start up in September. And also in September, there's another gaming convention that I will be going to, and that is Shire Con, and I'll start giving out details for that as we get closer to it. That is in September, September Con. So, as always, have a great rest of your weekend, and keep on gaming out there. Have a good day.